Okay, Marty, and now on Channel 13's People Are Talking, we'd like you to meet Ariadne Kane. He is a cross-dresser, a man who enjoys dressing up in women's clothing, and he's here to share his story, or her story, and we're going to ask about that question because Ariadne feels it's important that all of us try to understand what cross-dressing is. He is the director of the Outreach Institute, and it's nice to have you on People Are Talking this morning. Is it he or is it she? You are a man.
Today it is she. Tomorrow it could be he. I think the context of being either considered a man or a woman depends very much on the social circumstances. In this role, I am a woman, and I'm not a female. Now that's one of the things I'd like to share. We make a distinction between what we call male-female and masculine-feminine. And that's an important distinction because a person can be male and yet be almost 90% feminine. Not effeminate now, but feminine. And by the same token, females can be very strongly masculine.
What?
So what you're saying is that woman is synonymous with feminine, and that's why you say that today you are a woman.
Exactly.
I'd like to know, why do you dress as a woman? Do you get a bit kick out of it or something? Why?
Okay, why is a crooked leather? That's the first answer to that. But more than that, the question is not so much why, because that involves hours of background. I mean, and each person who is involved in this paraculture, in which cross-dressing is an element and maybe an important part of their life pattern, have various reasons why cross-dressing has entered their lives and continues to dominate their lives. For me, cross-dressing is a way of expressing my femininity. Within each person, we have a certain amount of masculinity and femininity, if you will, within our personalities. And in the social development of the individual, the masculinity becomes dominant if you're a male, and the femininity becomes dominant if you're a female. But there's a repressed set of feelings whenever you choose the one related to the anatomical sex.
Why do you feel it's necessary for you to express your femininity in this way?
Well, in a society that is visual, as this one is, and the way I've been brought up and trained, where visual things are what tell you something about a person's thing, one of the few ways of doing it is dress.
And what are you telling us about you?
I'm saying that I am a person who has to express in a total way my personality. And I need ways to make that clear to the outside world. And so for me, cross-dressing has a very important connotation in that it is part of the full expression of my personality.
And you keep using the word cross-dressing and not transvestite. Why do you say cross-dressing and not transvestite? Are not transvestites men who dress as women?
That's one fragment, but there are a whole host of people who dress in clothing of the opposite gender. And if we want to be very technical, women who wear pants are technically considered cross-dressers, you see. And that's something that most people don't realize.
But women who wear pants are not necessarily doing it as an expression of their masculinity.
How do you know that?
I wear pants, and I wear pants because I'm comfortable wearing pants.
Are you all the women in this country?
No.
Okay.
But I'm sure that most women, or many women at least.
Don't be sure.
Well, I can't be sure that a lot of women, can I say, a lot of women who wear pants are not necessarily wearing them to express their masculinity, but it's just comfortable. Okay.
It's quite possible that you may be right. I happen to have evidence that says that that's not quite clear. Okay? And I wouldn't want to refute what you're saying.
And I don't intend to refute what you're saying, but I'm just, speaking for myself.
Okay, but cross-dressing then has a connotation of saying somebody who wants to wear clothing of the opposite gender. It has nothing to do with motivation, whereas a person who's a transvestite, already the term is out if a person is down on the combat zone of any major city and is cross-dressed. It connotes a sexual encounter, whereas there are many roles that have to deal with just strictly gender.
Yes, we have callers already calling in that would like to talk to you at 481-1313. I want to ask you one more question. Well, like I said, I want to know if you'd rather be a woman, but we'll do that in just a second.
And if you have a question for Ariadne, if he's describing your life, or if you'd like to ask him a question, we'd like for you to call us at 481-1313 right after this.
Great.
Centuries ago, the Chinese discovered the secret of getting crisp, fresh-tasting vegetables. They start with the freshest vegetables, cut them just right, and stir-fry them in a wok, very fast in hot oil. With bird's eye stir-fry vegetables, you can enjoy the crisp, fresh taste of stir-frying. They're easy to prepare. So try the crisp, fresh taste of stir-fry vegetables. Only from Bird's Eye.
This is a lot of house for only one woman to do, but when I clean, I feel like an army, 'cause I am armed with Ajax. I've a feeling of cleaning power. Armed with Ajax. Ajax all-purpose cleaner has the power of ammonia, plus a powerful grease-cutting solvent to clean greasy floors and walls like a white tornado. Get that feeling of cleaning power. Armed with Ajax.
One woman can light a fire. Two women can share a vision.
Women working together can put purpose in their world.
By discovering it in themselves.
Light a fire, share a vision, spread the word, we are women working hard. Come together, we are strong.
There are problems in the world. Problems which require attention and care.
Problems that can be solved by women.
Jewish women, B'nai B'rith women. One woman can spark a flame. Two of us can share a vision. Working together, we can help. We can help.
Light a fire, share a vision, spread the word, we are women. Come together, we are strong.
B'nai B'rith women. Please join.
Before the break, I was asking you, now you dressed as a woman, you like expressing your femininity. Wouldn't you rather just be a woman?
No, I think my real calling would be of that of an androgyne. And let me try to describe that term. Androgyny refers to a person who can be comfortable in either gender role, okay? Since my main sexual preference is that of being heterosexual, that's something that's private. But my gender role is something that's public. And I would like to be more free to express gender role as I see it, not just masculinity or femininity. And that's what androgyny is. And I'm approaching that goal. But until a society has become more attuned to that, I have to live in gender roles that people recognize.
Does that mean that you are bisexual?
No, it has nothing to do with sexuality here.
And you are married.
You are married.
When I talk about bisexuality, I talk about sex role preference. Okay, and my preference happens to be with people of the opposite sex, since I am biologically a male.
Okay.
And that I enjoy females.
Your wife is aware of your cross-dressing.
Very much so.
I
very
understand she
positive.
also helps you pick out some of the clothes.
Well, she's been an important force in helping me create my wardrobe and put together a tasteful-looking image.
She doesn't find that strange?
Initially, she did, but she's come to accept that as part of our relationship.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning. We have a question for Ariadne.
Yes, good morning, Richard and Oprah.
Hi.
How are you doing this morning?
Fine.
Fine.
Good. I'd just like to know one thing of your guest. Why wouldn't your guest consider having the transsexual operation? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think he's just in costume, really. I mean, if he's going to go all the way and he has these feminine tendencies, I don't see why he would not, consider the transsexual operation. And I'll just hang up and listen for the response, okay?
Thank you very much for your question.
Okay. Ariadne?
Okay, I think it's important to recognize that a person can express full gender role capacity without having to have an anatomical transformation. In a society like ours, which I must say, sad to admit, is a macho sexist one, we look in terms of sexual symbols instead of gender symbols. And one of the things that the Outreach Institute is trying to do is to help people clarify the differences between sex roles and gender roles. And I represent the element that talks about gender role and expression.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Good morning. You're on People Are Talking.
Yes, I'm calling from Glen Burnie, and I have two questions. I'd like to know where he buys his clothes, and does he try them on in the ladies' room? Also, does he wear wigs?
All right. Where do you buy your clothes? Where do you dress? And do you wear a wig? You're wearing a wig, I guess.
No, this is my own hair.
No kidding.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It
I
is.
stopped wearing wigs, about 4 years ago. I've only been, quote, out of the closet 6 years. And I buy my clothes wherever I can get a nice sale. That could be B. Altman's, Lord & Taylor's, or a consignment shop.
Do you try them on in the ladies' room?
It depends. If I go as Ariadne, as a woman, I have the option of doing that. If I go in the other role, I just know my size and I take them with me.
It doesn't make you uncomfortable?
Not in the slightest.
Oh, good luck.
Thanks. How about on your job?
Yeah.
You work as a man
Ariadne
someday?
on the job, or
Woman someday?
I'm self-employed. And in my capacity as a self-employed consultant, I can work in either role. And I do work in either role. I do a lot of workshops and seminars for professional groups, mental health centers, hospitals, doctors groups, etc., all over the country. So that is part of the work that I do, and I get paid for that. Not much, but I get something from that. In the other role, I consult in various other capacities.
The caller asked whether or not you were uncomfortable, and you said not in the slightest. Was there a time when you were uncomfortable about coming out of the closet, so to speak?
Yes, yes. I would say when I finally realized that this business of looking in mirrors and looking inside and not being able to share with other people in society that this is part of me and not something I have to hide, convinced me that by doing it with good taste and some assistance makes me a better person.
Good morning. You're on the air with Ariadne Kane.
Yes, this question is directed towards your guest. And I'd like to know if you might be confusing sensitivity with femininity, and how do you feel sexually when you dress like a woman? Do you like to attract men? And if so, why don't you dress like a woman at all times? Why even bother with the men's wear?
Okay, Ariadne.
Okay. Again, I want to reiterate that what interests me is the gender role, not the sex role. And I think, in general, most of us, both men and women in our society, tend to accept the conventionality that women dress to attract men only and for sexual encounters. I think there are lots of groups that would refute that kind of reasoning.
But don't you feel, and we only have a half a minute, don't you feel better as a woman than you do as a man?
I feel better as a person, not just as a woman or a man.
Okay. Ariadne Kane, thank you for coming by and talking to us about cross-dressing
enlightening us,
and taking our calls from our viewers.
Thank you both.
We'll be making a Dialing for Dollars call next and telling you about tomorrow's show right after this.
Subtle forms of discrimination affect the lives of men, women, blacks, whites, persons born in other countries, the handicapped. The list goes on. The Baltimore Community Relations Commission is empowered to help remedy the problems brought about when discrimination stops you from getting a job or a promotion, causes you to lose a job, keeps you from using the services of a place of public accommodations or the services of a health or welfare agency. For more information, call 396-3141.
We've all got different jobs to do here in Baltimore and Maryland. While you're doing your job, we're doing ours, bringing you the news. We're the Eyewitness News Team. We're as proud of our work as you are of yours.